Hey y'all, hey, happy Monday. Welcome to another Monday moment with your girl, Maisha, aka Mojo. Today I am joined by a special guest. I always have a special guest, but today is a special guest. And her name, y'all gotta excuse me if I call her Miss Green, because that's what I knew her as.
That's
My
fine. That's
first
fine.
grade teacher. But today our special guest is Miss Green Myrick. And if y'all haven't
Yay.
been paying attention, every Monday in the month of June, I've been celebrating my birthday season. It's not quite Leo season. My birthday kicks off Leo season, but it is birthday season. So I figured what better way to celebrate birthday season, my birthday season, than to celebrate with people from all different decades of my 50 years. I can't even believe it myself. So last week I had one of my BFFs from the time I was 4. The week before that I had my sister because I think she might have known me for a long time. And the week before that I had my mama. So what better way to keep the party going than with my first grade favorite teacher?
Yay.
Hey, so thank y'all for joining. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is having a good week. Hey, Blissful K. Hey, OP Cliggins. Hey, Coach. Thank y'all for joining. If y'all don't know, each and every Monday, I ask y'all to join me for a moment where I have a special guest. This month, like I said, we're celebrating the 50 years of Mojo. But all of the Mondays, we celebrate different ways for you to find your mojo. And what finding your mojo means is just to show up how you show up as your authentic self and whatever it is that you're doing. If you're working, if you're playing, you're looking for a job, you're looking for how to sustain when you don't have a job, you're looking for a boyfriend, you're looking to find new friends, you move to a new city. All of the things we're going to talk about how you find your mojo with our special guest. So, that's what we're doing today. So thank y'all for joining. It's only 7:01. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple few minutes to join. While I do so, I'm gonna start off with a cocktail. Sometimes it's a mocktail. It's birthday season, so I'm definitely having a cocktail today. So if y'all care to join us or me, feel free. I think my guest is having some apple juice or some water or some kind of libation. Some kind of libation. Because I feel like what better way to start off a conversation than with a little fellowship of a little something to drink. So I'm gonna have now y'all know I have a different drink every Monday. I try to mojify it up. So whatever it is, I put my little mojo on it because that's the name of the show. Today it's I don't know where y'all are, but we in New Jersey and it is hot. I
Mm,
think the last time I read the thermometer it said 97, 100, 90.
hot.
It's hot degrees outside.
Hot.
So I'm gonna cool it off with a little martini. I like a pretty glass. So really this drink I'm making today could be made in any kind of glass, a low ball, a high ball, but I like a martini glass because it makes me happy. Last night I had my water in a wine glass because that's just how I roll. It's the glass for me. But today I'm gonna do some Tito, gluten free. Because I'm such a lady watching the weight. I got my shaker with some ice in it. I had to pre-ice because I be trying not to keep getting up when I'm doing this, but sometimes it happens. So I had my martini glass chilling. Now that it's chilling, like I wish I was, but I'm hot. I'm gonna pour it out because I don't need that. But look how pretty. See that frost? That's what it's all about. It's kind of like when people frost their beer glasses, except we having a cocktail. So now I'm gonna get my Tito and I'm gonna pour a couple shots up in here, up in my shaker. Just a couple, 2 shots, 2 ounces for the bartenders in a room, for the mixologists like myself. Over the ice in the shaker, just 2 ounces, 2 shot glasses. And I've been having this newfound relationship with pomegranate juice. So that's what I have. You could do cranberry juice, you could do any kind of juice. Most vodka goes good with most juice. I got a cute little pomegranate. I'm gonna do 1 ounce of the pomegranate juices. Why not? So there we go. And it makes it a pretty color. Pretty glass, pretty color. It all works. So then I'm gonna shake it up in the ice. Hopefully I don't spill anything because I do that often. My M glass, my initial also makes me happy. Miss Green, Miss Myrick. Don't we like an M? Mary.
Ma'am.
So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna get a little extra shake because it's cold. Then I'm gonna pour it in my glass just so. And then we're gonna get the conversation started after we get a little
That's
toast
nice.
going. And if y'all know, if y'all been watching, you know I like a little bubbly. So not only do I have some pomegranate, I'm gonna do a little ginger beer because that makes me
All
happy.
right now.
Yeah, a little bubbly. I like ginger beer by itself too, but it is a little spicy. There you go. So I don't recommend shaking that up because it'll make a mess. But I'm gonna do just a little pour with some ginger beer. And the mixologist in me loves a garnish, so I'm gonna do that too. I pre-cut me a little lemon. I like to decorate in lemon, so I have plenty of those around the house. So there we go, y'all. Happy Monday.
That's
Look at
great.
that there. That pretty drink.
Nice.
Cheers to my favorite teacher and to all of
Yes.
y'all watching.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Mm.
Even if I say so myself. So now that we got all of that out of the way, now that hopefully y'all are all joining in, we're gonna get the conversation started. And if y'all missed the topic, today's topic, or all the month's topic, is celebrating 50 years of Mojo. I ain't gonna tell nobody else, 50 years. But each Monday I've been celebrating with somebody from one of the decades of my life. And today we are graced with Miss Green Myrick, and she's just gonna chat with us about how I'm going to share with y'all how much she means to me as my first teacher. And I'm going to
Oh,
ask her some questions about what it means to her about being a teacher. And I want y'all to please chime in, ask questions, comments. We are here for all of the things. So, with that said, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself more formally than I did. And then I'm going to just go all in with all of the questions.
uh-oh.
But don't feel no way. You ready for it. So, who are you? Where are you? What you do?
Start now.
Yes, please.
Oh, well, my name is Mary Green Myrick. I am a product of the East Orange School District. I have an associate degree in business and I have a BS in education from the College of New Jersey. I've taught for 41 years, and basically they were glorious years, some ups and downs. But if I had to do it again, I'm sure that I would. I live in central New Jersey now. Well, I've lived here for 43 years, so I didn't just move here. Been here a long
Oh,
time,
I didn't know
43
that.
years. Yep, 43 years. I was, yeah, so I've been riding that Garden State Parkway back and forth to educate children. And I'm retired and enjoying my retirement. I've been retired since 2015, and I'm happy.
2015, you said?
2015. Yep.
Okay.
So it'll
Okay.
be
I didn't
10
know that.
years. July 1st will be 10 years. The
Mhm.
time went so quickly. And you were at my retirement party.
Mhm.
So it was 10 years ago, and I just can't believe it.
Wow.
I
Me
cannot believe it.
either.
Yeah, the time quickly, went quickly.
Very nice. Now, what are you doing with your time now that you're not teaching?
Well, the first thing I did, I took a 2 weeks trip to South Africa upon my retirement, and my daughter Brianna also went. That was one of the best trips of my life. That
Wow.
was that was a good one. So
Okay.
I've been to well, during the summer we traveled when I wasn't teaching. So we've been to the islands and we've been to London, we've been to Paris, we've been here and there, the other place, because I wanted her to be exposed to different things. So that's what I did during the summers. So since I retired, I rejoined, listen to this name now, the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs, Incorporated.
Oh my
And
goodness, I
here,
gotta write that down. You see how to reach for my pad for that one. What are the
yeah,
acronyms?
what we're called the BNPs is Business and Professional Women. And sometimes people say BPW. Like my
Okay.
club jacket says BPW. So that stands
Okay.
for Business and Professional Women. So I
Okay.
rejoined that, and I am happy to say that I will be inducted as the director of membership next week at our end of the year dinner and last club meeting. So that's when I will officially be inducted, and I will take office in September. And
That
our club
sounds
is
fantastic.
locally in Plainfield. We're headquartered in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's we have our meetings in different venues in Plainfield. And I'm very active in my church. I
Is your
was
church where you are in
well,
middle?
my church was down the street. It was New Hope Baptist in Metuchen. It was I was there for over 30 years, and I changed my membership to First Baptist of Lincoln Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
about 3 years ago. So I'm still in the scholarship committee because education is so important to me. So I joined their scholarship committee. And in April, we took 50 teenagers, God bless me, 50 teenagers on a tour, a college tour of Black colleges, universities,
Mm-hmm.
HBCUs up the East Coast. We did that just before Easter. So that was very interesting. I went as a chaperone
Okay.
with a bus load of high energy teenagers. So
Mhm.
that was good. That was good.
So
So
take me back. Take me back. When did you first decide you wanted to be a teacher, and why?
well, I think when I was about 7 or 8, I used to play school all the time with my neighbors and our
Mhm.
tenants growing up in East Orange, and anybody could be the principal, the
So you
superintendent.
grew up like you were raised in like as a kid. You were in East Orange too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was in East Orange schools from kindergarten up to East Orange High School. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But
Okay.
then I moved, so I didn't finish at East Orange. I finished at school in Newark, high school in
Okay.
Newark. But East Orange is my home. I'm a true East Orange girl. True
Mm-hmm.
East Orange girl. Yeah, but I always wanted to be a teacher. I used to play school all the time. Always wanted to be a
Mm-hmm.
teacher. Always.
And why do you think you wanted to be a teacher? You had teachers you admired. You just felt your teaching zone. What happened?
Well, my aunt who raised me along with my dad, she was a retired school teacher. That was my Aunt Mary. Thus, I am
Oh, I know
Mary.
Aunt Mary. She's on.
Yes, my Aunt Mary. Yes, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
she was very strong in her desire to see me be successful. And she saw me playing school with neighborhood kids in our house. So she knew that's what I would probably end up being. And the teachers in East Orange were top notch because you know how highly East Orange schools were rated. You know that. So
I
I had
think so.
wonderful role models, absolutely wonderful, wonderful role models. So that was enticing to me. I was around the top, so
Okay.
that's what I wanted to do.
Now, was your first school where you taught was that Colombian?
Yep, and I never left there. I
You
did
did.
my
So
I
somebody asked me that today, and I
never
was like, I don't know. So you were there
never
for your whole 40 years of teaching. You
yes
were
ma'am. I taught at a private school in
really?
Newark. One year, my first year, I taught in a private school in Newark, and in 1975, I came to Columbian, and I stayed there for 30 years, and that's how I got you. And I stayed there, and then when they moved to a holding school to renovate the school, which they ended up knocking it down and building it brand new, you know
I
that.
know.
So when we went to a holding school, which was supposed to have been 2 or 3 years. It ended up 10 years. So that's
It's
how I
brand new.
retired. Yeah, that's how I retired from there, that building,
Mhm.
because they didn't build the new school, which is built now, of course. But I never left there. So I've
I
taught
did
so many
not
kids.
know that, Miss
Yeah,
Green. You the
yeah.
whole time.
The
Wow.
same school for 40 years.
I feel like it's like football teams when they at the end of their career they know they want to retire with their home team, but then they go to another.
Yep.
Be
I
misplaced for
never
a while.
left.
So you didn't go back. But did you have you been to the new school since you left?
Oh yeah, this one of the secretaries gave me a tour when COVID was over, but the teachers hadn't come back yet. They still were teaching remotely, so I
Mhm.
got my own little private tour of the building, and it's very nice,
I was about to
very
say, what do you
nice,
think? Okay.
very nice, but very modern. It's a boxy shape, and it's not that um what it's not that coziness that was
Right?
there,
It's
and
not the red things on the
I
window.
know it's like a square box, but it's all modern technology and blah 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 and up to date. But I don't know, the historic part of it is like gone. So
Yeah.
it's nice for the kids though. They get something brand new. It's
So now
nice.
what did you enjoy most about being a teacher?
Well, what I really love teaching first grade, and I did first grade for 30 years,
Okay.
having those kindergarten kids come to me not knowing how to read and being very insecure and very scared to go to school all day because kindergarten was a half a day. So I enjoyed watching my first graders just blossom because when I got them in September, basically they weren't reading. Some of them, they knew their ABCs and stuff, but vowels and consonants, all that stuff happened later. And just to see them read me not only a story, but a little book when they left me in
You
June,
see?
I don't even have words for it. It was so fabulous. They just like grew over those months, and I can see the growth every month. It was unbelievable just to
Now,
see them. Ugh.
did you always feel like that's what you wanted? Like when you had visions of being a teacher, are those the moments that you live for? Did you know that, or were you surprised by how
No, wasn't
inspired or how lovely it
no.
felt when it
I
happened?
knew I knew they could do it, but just to see them make progress every month, and I'm saying, is this the same girl that cried for her mommy every day? And it's just, and the independence that they got, it just was so wonderful, so wonderful,
Really?
so
That's
wonderful.
that's how I felt. Because even as your student, I don't know what I expected from first grade. I just knew that's what the parents said you had to go, and I loved that I could walk to school and that my preschool was up the street. I still live in my the home that I grew up in, so my preschool is
Hmm.
now a Haitian Baptist church, but it was my
Oh,
preschool, and
okay.
I could walk from that place and then to my first to fifth grade class. So that was nice, and I
Wow.
have some good stories, but. What do you have some favorite stories or one that stands out now that you can think of that comes top of mind when you think
Well, I have quite a bit of stories about mommies who had to come to school to straighten out their children because
Mhm.
they thought that I was playing with them, and mom or dad would tell me, call anytime you have any problems. And this is before we had telephones in your classrooms. We had the intercom system where you could call the office for whatever
Mhm.
reason. And there was a phone on the wall outside my classroom. And I would tell kids that I will call. This is long before cell phones. I would tell them I'm going to call your mom. She said call if you're acting up, and they didn't believe me. So I would call mom or dad. Most times it was mom because dads didn't deal too much with that kind of stuff. They let mom handle that. So I would call, and mom would tell me I'm on the way to work, but I will come to school first. So the kids got such a shock to see their mama come in when they thought mom was at work. And I opened the door and let mom in. And if you could have seen those faces, they could not believe that. So I have some stories, some good stories with moms coming to school to prove a point. And mom only had to come one time, but she came and did what she needed to do, and sometimes it entailed using one of the local restrooms. And I told mom, do what you have to do. My head is turned.
Mhm.
I don't see, I don't hear. Take care of that.
I
So
luckily I could say I don't think I ever needed one of those restrooms. I never
never,
needed that.
never. No, you were one of the good ones. I'm telling you.
But
You were
what
one
I
of
do,
my.
what I can say if I'm sharing one of my memories, I just remember your energy and your liveliness. Now I'm sure some
Well,
of
thank you.
I was about to say I'm sure some other teachers have it too, but yours was just so different. Like I, not that it was a show, but I just felt like I had to pay attention because you
Oh
just
yeah.
never know what might happen in Miss Green's classroom. Like it was fun. We were learning, we were reading, but it was fun. How
Well,
did you
thank you.
always have that? Like when you, I imagine if I started teaching, like to me, a teacher is a profession that you always have to be on. Like I'm a little bit behind the desk in corporate America. So if I'm having a sleepy
Right.
day or tired day, but teachers, y'all don't have that luxury.
Nope.
So how, but I always felt like you were there with us present. Like how did you have that? How did you do that? Is
Well,
that just something you always were born with? What happened?
it's something that's innate. It's just in you because people
Mhm.
thought that I had children at home. They thought my husband and I had two or three kids at home, and they were
I
so
did.
shocked to see me expecting a baby because they thought I had kids at home. And I said, no, this is my first because I just it's just born in me. I'm just like that. But I know Mrs. Fairbanks, my former principal, God rest her soul. She came into my classroom one day, and me with a double-breasted suit and heels, because I was sharp when I came to school. You
You
know
ain't
that.
messing around. Heels too.
You know that. With my
All day
double-breasted
the heels.
all day and my heels, I was on top of a desk, an empty desk, and I wanted the kids' attention. So they had to look up there to see me. I explained to them what I wanted to do, what the objectives were for the day, what I wanted them to learn at the end of the lesson. And my principal saw me up there and she said, you be careful. I don't want you to fall. And she turned around and went on about her business because she knows. One day she came, I'm on the floor with the kids. We were making a mural. And she said to the kids, where's your teacher? She's down here. I was on my tummy with my dress on and heels. And we were coloring and doing whatever, making this mural. And it was like 12 feet or 14 feet long. And we're down there doing our thing. And she looked down there at me. She just started laughing. She just because she could find me anywhere, on the floor, on a
Speaking
chair.
of laughing, I can't even tell you what happened, but I know we were going on a field trip.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what this student did. His name was Phil, but he
Mm-hmm.
did something in the classroom, and you told him he was not going to be allowed. And if I had a full screen and we weren't just on my laptop, I could even see the walk you did with your heels. So I'll just try to
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
reenact with my hands. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what he did, but he was acting up, and we were going on a field trip the next day. And you were like, "I don't. If you don't get it together and get yourself doing the right thing, you were like, bye bye, Phil."
Not having
Why
it.
do you remember? It's the funniest thing you remember. And you were marching around in the classroom. Bye, bye,
Not
Phil.
having it. Mm-mm. You're not going to aggravate me all school year and think
No.
I'm going to reward you and take you on the same trip that the kids who did what they need to do. Because the first graders, they're going to act up some. That's the nature of being a kid. It's okay. But you're not going to be disrespectful and uncooperative all year and think come May, you're going to get on a bus and go to New York to the Bronx Zoo. I don't think so.
And
Mm-mm.
I
And I
still
was
love to go to the
a
Bronx Zoo.
woman
I'm not messing that up.
true to my word, a woman true to my word. When I said you're not going and I give you another chance to kind of like straighten out and you still want to act up, I got something for you come May. Bye.
Look, I wonder where is Phil? I wonder where Phil is.
I think about a lot of them sometimes. And some I do see at different places over the years. I've seen them. They give me the hug and the kiss and stuff, and they
And
say, Miss Green, you didn't put up with any stuff. My mama loved you. You didn't put up with it.
now, see, you didn't put up with anything, but we still loved you to death. It was still so much fun.
I'm glad.
It
I'm glad.
was. So, can you tell me what are some of those things that made kids stand out from the other kids that you knew might not be so standoutish? In my most politically correct way to ask a question, like you know what I mean? Like, how did you know the kids, or what made you feel some way about the kids that were going to do something, be something, or were special to you? I mean,
Well,
they were
you
all
know
special.
what? It was my hope that you all would turn out to be another Maisha and another Camille. That was my hope. It didn't turn out like that. But you know what? I gave it my all. There were some kids that I could say, sit down. They sit down. There's some that I would say, sit down. They want to challenge me and say, why? Or I don't want to sit down. So you know
Mhm.
what? I tried to give my all to each one and to remember that each child is different because Maisha performed like this, acted like this. That doesn't mean everybody's going to do that. Maisha's background could be totally different. Her makeup could be totally different. Her parents totally different. So I had to realize each child is different and I just can't put a blanket on everybody. Each one is different. And I try to service each child and guide him or her in the direction that would make them eventually be successful. So I just did my best and just tried to individualize um, offerings to each child because each child is different. I even had twins in my classroom. Different as
Mhm.
night and day.
Yeah.
So when I
Because
had gifted and talented, I had twins because we only had one gifted and talented first grade, one gifted second, one third. I went out on maternity to have my daughter, and I came back earlier than I was going to because I wanted to make sure they fed into the gifted and talented second grade. I couldn't let a substitute do that for me. I had to make sure I was there. So I came back earlier than I was supposed to, just to
oh,
make sure
did
that
you?
those kids went where they were supposed to go. So
Now, do you? So, out of all the kids that you taught, are me and Camille the only ones you still keep in contact with? You going to our weddings and graduations and things?
well, you know what? I've been to some weddings. Um, I see them out and about because when the sororities and fraternities give different functions, I attend sometimes, and I see some there, and they, Miss Green, is that you? I said, here I am. Then I get the hug, 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 and a kiss, kiss, kiss. So a few of them are were working on their masters. One was working on her doctorate. I saw her here at Pines Manor in Edison, and she
Okay.
recognized me right away. And she said, "You know what? You have not changed." She said, "I love
No.
your gray hair." She said, "You're still sharp." I said, "Well, thank you." And she said, "Miss Green," she says, "Is it okay if I still call you that?" I said, "Absolutely." People still call me Miss Green, and when they call me that, I turn around right away because I know my name. So
Yeah.
I see people here and there at the mall sometimes, and they say, Miss Green, Miss Green. And then my daughter knows that it's somebody who knew me years before she was even born.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good.
I love it.
It's
And
all
see, and
good.
I told you my one of my favorite stories. I could tell more. I remember the first time I got in trouble in your classroom. But so I don't even know why. It's funny the memories that stick with you. But you remember back in the day, the textbooks, you had to write your name in the textbooks to say it was yours when you were in a
Oh
class.
yes. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I took, I was a little bit of a chatterbox, not that much, just a little bit. So I took somebody's textbook and I was lying. It was not, and I tried to say it was mine, and I wrote my name in it. And you caught me. I don't know how. And I tried to erase that thing out. I don't know. I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but just a little bit for that one. But do you have any memories that like stand out for you when I was in your class, or other people or other children in your class that you were like, "Yep, this one is going to make it," or "Yep, this is a defining moment"? Do you have any of those
You
memories?
know how long ago that was, right? That wasn't yesterday. You know
I'm
how
not
long
saying
ago.
me. I'm just saying anybody in general that you have
Well,
like moments that you like aha moments, as Oprah would say. Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like any of those.
well, there were a lot of times that weren't the way I want them to be. We've had some kids who had to be suspended because they decided they still wanted to act up and not follow rules.
In
And
first grade?
oh yeah, we've had kindergarten kids who were suspended when they bite the teacher or throw a chair or spitting. Oh, we've had to do that. We didn't want to do that, but we've had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
uh, there are quite a few. There are quite a few moments, but I think that you don't want to label children. That's something that I always tried not to do. But some children, I only can speak for myself. I felt that they were going to make it and be successful just because of the experience that I had with them, even though it was just first grade. But by the time they got to fifth grade and they're on the way to the middle school and whatnot, I'd hear things and a light bulb would go off, and I would say, hmm, unfortunately, I kind of could see that. And then there's some that were just like more than wonderful, and I just knew the sky's the limit for them. And I'm not surprised that they turned out successful, like you and your sister. I'm not surprised at all. And with the support that you had with your parents, I mean, you had like the best. So, um, you know, there's some kids I just didn't worry about because I knew they would be okay. And coming across them in their grown up years, and they would tell me what they were up to and what they'd been doing, I wasn't surprised at all. But then there's some that I was really concerned about, and I wondered if they would be okay. And they
Mm-hmm.
turned out very, very well. They come back to see me. Um, they wanted to see if I was still at Columbian, and there I was. So they told some guys
Yeah,
in the
I did
service
not know you were there that whole
never left.
time.
My whole career was at Columbian, and then
Wow.
it changed names and whatnot. And now it's Sheila Oliver. So there's a third name now.
Mhm.
But
So I have to share, mommy. So I just asked you that about talking too much. Mommy says I got that call, only one I ever got from a teacher. I said me. She said yes, talking too much. I don't know. I can't believe it. Me?
well, that was me too. My family got messages about Mary is a great student, but she talks to her friends and stuff, and the blah blah blah. And that's when there were no lunchrooms in Eastern schools. We came home at lunch. We came home,
My sister
and
reminded me that the other
oh
day. I
yeah,
said, you
I
did?
never, I never ate lunch at school. No, except till I got to VLD, until I got to junior high. But in elementary school, you came home, and I think it was like 12:30. You had to be back, so I'd come home and have a lunch. My Aunt Mary made lunch and everything every day, and the teacher told me that if I didn't stop talking to whomever, she was going to send a letter home. And I told her, no, 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 we don't have to do that. We don't need a letter. I said, you let me go home for lunch. When I come back, I'm okay. I'll be
I'll be
good. No
quiet.
problem. No problem. But I was close to getting a letter. I was close to getting that letter though.
Funny. Oh, somebody has a comment. So Barbara says, did Maisha talk a lot in class? Well, we already answered that. Yes, apparently I did. She said, what do you remember about me specifically?
No problem. No problem at all. And I had office monitors and floor monitors, floor captains at the paper monitor, pencil sharpener monitor, and the job would rotate. Whenever her turn came to do her job, she did it quite efficiently, just like little captain. Was no problem at all. She was a joy. She and her sister both were joys to work with. Absolutely. no problem whatsoever. None.
You're not just
None.
saying that because mommy's on. You're not just saying that so I don't get in
I don't
trouble.
care.
I
No.
could still get in
Mm-mm,
trouble.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Now,
No
did
problem.
you ever, were you ever your daughter's teacher?
No, because my daughter was born down here. No, she wasn't no place near
Oh,
East
she was
Orange. She's here
there.
in
Okay.
central New Jersey. Mm-mm.
So when you were teaching in East Orange, you had to move to Central Jersey at some point.
Yeah, yeah, but I've been down here, like I said, I've been down here like 40, been down here 42
Oh,
years.
so when you were teaching in East Orange, you didn't live here anymore.
Right,
Oh, I
right,
didn't know that. You know, my
right.
teacher lived down the street as far as I was concerned.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, somebody, my coach is saying, I'm grinning like a fool. Thank you so much for this conversation, for loving up on generations of children. Oh,
Oh.
yes, yes. So so when you did have a child, did you feel like it helped you at all being a teacher? Did that transform you any? Did you ask?
Absolutely. She
Yeah.
couldn't get away with anything. You kids taught me so much that by the time I had her, I was good to go. I was having no okie dokie from her. Mm-mm. No, I learned a lot from my students. You guys, you did a good job with me. Believe me. And people laugh about that to this day. No, I was well experienced and well versed by the time I had her. Oh, please.
Now, did you only teach first grade, or did you have other grades?
Well, I had 30 years of first grade at Columbian, and then when we moved to Glenwood, my Mrs. Fairbanks made me a literacy coach.
Okay.
So I was helping teachers learn different innovative practices that I got from visiting other schools and whatnot. So then I wasn't in the classroom, I was in the office, so testing kids and whatnot. So um, like I said, I was in my classroom for 30 years and I was afraid to come out. I loved my first graders and I didn't want to leave. But my
Yeah.
daughter told me if you weren't so good in language arts, the principal wouldn't have chosen you. She felt that you're the one for the job, so go do it. So I
Mhm.
did the boo-hoo. I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to leave. But I'm glad I did because I got a lot of good experiences going to different school districts and seeing different things, going to conferences and whatnot, and seeing how different things can work with different children. So it was good. So I did first, second, and some are third.
You
Some
know,
are,
it's so funny when you talk to me about your daughter and how she talks you out of things. Like even this, she was like, "I thought you were gonna call me. You gonna tell me now what I gotta do?" It reminded me so much of me and my mother's relationship. Like, please come down. It's all gonna be fine. It's gonna like. And
yes,
so I have to talk to her again one day because I feel like we're so similar in that effect. Like
yes,
you spend your whole life, your mother like nurturing and telling you what to do, and I feel like now they be like, "Girl, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine." So I can like see her through you and the stories you tell me. So I think that's so.
yes, yes.
But now I didn't write this question down to ask you, but as you were telling me that you were never her teacher, like, do you feel like, so we say chin check sometimes, but did she ever have any teachers that you were like, yeah, no, girl, get it together, or man, or person, or teacher? Like, did she have any teachers that you needed to get together? Like, listen,
Two of them,
uh
two of
huh,
them, two of them, and most of her teachers, um, they didn't know who I was because when I would stop in school to drop off something or whatever, I came with my my purse and sometimes with my school bag, and I had the suit and the heels because that's the way I went to school. And the teachers would say, "Oh, you're so dressed up." And I said, "Well, I dress like this every day. This is my school clothes. This is the way I work. This is the way I go to work." And one thought that I came from the state board of education to come and give some kind of um, check up in the school or something. What? I said, I'm Brianna Myrick's mom. And she said, "Oh, you didn't come from Trenton?" I said, "No, I'm on the way to East Orange." And she was laughing and stuff. But there's two that I had to get straightened out because one tried to give my daughter incomplete in this class and said that she had missed some assignments. And I said, "Oh, no, 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 not Brianna Myrick. That didn't happen." So he says to me, well, I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm doing hall duty right now, but as soon as school is over, I'm coming down there on my way home. I'm going
I'm
to
coming
stop."
for you.
And I didn't want to say that, but that's what it meant. I think he read in between the lines, but I had to go and get him straightened out and come to find out he was doing some work at another school, at a college. anyway, and he had gotten some papers mixed up and stuff.
He got his
So
Brianna's confused.
he got his Mary Myrick confused. That's who he got confused. So he's digging up all these papers and stuff. Now he's finding stuff. So that incomplete turned into a real nice grade, which she deserved. And another one that was the same thing. And she said she came from the business world and she didn't know exactly how this educational stuff worked and blah, blah, blah. So she should not have been in the classroom, but I had to get her straightened out too. So then Brianna got her honor roll letter that they send to parents to let you know that your child has made the honor roll again this semester. So it was only two in her whole career from kindergarten up to high school, only two that I had to straighten them out. And I did it in a very nice professional way. I didn't go and I didn't really take off my teacher's hat and put on my mommy's hat, but I almost got them mixed up. But it worked out fine.
Because I'm sure that's easy to do, get it mixed up. Look, Barbara asked, did Maisha ever struggle academically or socially? I was
No, never, never. She was on it, on it, on it. Nope, never, never.
See, look, I told you.
Absolutely, absolutely. She was on the ball from the beginning to the end.
I remember that was one of your phrases too, on the ball. We gotta be on the ball.
Yeah, I still say that. Yeah.
I like that one.
I still say that on the ball.
Random, but I remember some of the books we used to read. I wanted to do. They still have the beginning read. Well, I know they still have beginning readers, but they're not as fun as they used to be. Like, run, Gus, run, catch that bus. Why do I remember that?
They're doing so much on the computers now and stuff. The kids are losing a lot of that. I don't think I would like to be in the classroom nowadays, though, because everything is so different now.
And you know, I work at a children's book company. I work at Scholastic.
Right. No,
I'm still about the book. I like my books.
Yeah.
And I mean, I listen to some books online or Audible, but I like to turn the pages. I like still.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you the differences between, what are some of the other differences you felt you think about or you experienced in your years of teaching from then and now?
Well, things are very, very different. And like a lot of things are done on the computer. Even when we were giving the standardized test, since I became the literacy coach, I had to be a proctor because I didn't have kids of my own to test because I'm in my office. But some of the tests that the kids used to take with paper and pencil, you got to color in the little circles and stuff. They have the computer. They're doing a lot of the tests on the computer. And the first graders would get very frustrated because if you make a mistake, you got to go back and delete this and do that. So it's just different because computers are very good and they open up a whole new avenue of learning for kids. But it takes away some things too. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just so different now. And like even kids with writing their names and stuff and making capital A and lowercase a and capital B and stuff.
And cursive. Does anybody even have to write cursive?
Well, cursive started in third grade, but in second grade is when we start the kids with making the loops and stuff and those fine motor skills and stuff. They tell me that there's so many kids now who can't write a signature because they don't know cursive writing.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I don't think they have to learn cursive. And then I was asking mommy the other day, typing, like as much as we text and things now and type, like I'm typing in my regular job, how much longer it would take me to write an email if I couldn't type and look away? I don't think there's typing in class anymore.
I don't know, because with first graders, that's way out of my
Right.
realm.
Yeah, I know, but I just mean
them writing stories.
Teacher, but I was just thinking.
Yeah, but even with the kids writing stories and stuff, they would be so delighted at the end of a story and they would write the end. They'd write this story and then write the end and put like 10 exclamation points and stuff. Now that kind of stuff they're doing, I don't know, they're typing stuff. I don't know what they're doing because I've been retired for a long time, but I know because I came out of the classroom, I think it was 2008 when I became the literacy coach. So I don't know, but just listening to my teacher friends, they're saying that a lot of things are so different now because computers are taking over a lot of things that the kids used to be exposed to right on. So I don't know. But I think the modern technology is good and the computer is good too, but it's taking the place of a lot of things that was going on when you were in school, so.
My niece, who is 20 something, says, yeah, they stopped. Grammy forced, she said, my mother forced her to learn. She said both typing and cursive, they don't teach anymore.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that there.
Things have changed a lot.
Now, because I'm in publishing and because we're trying to still publish actual books, we've gotten a lot of backlash on like the type of books and banning books. Do you have any opinions on like the whole, and as a language arts teacher, like the whole banning books thing and
I don't like that one bit. I don't.
really?
And even listening to some parents that I've seen and heard speak on TV, and they're saying that this kind of book shouldn't be, even like say To Kill a Mockingbird. That's one of my favorites. And they're
Right.
talking about different bits, or I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Those are classics. And just to hear
Mhm.
parents say certain things should be banned and they don't want their kids knowing about this or learning about this and stuff, you know, this is the world. This is the way things happen. And sheltering the kids and acting like certain things didn't occur. Stop it. And all this banding and stuff, and they don't want this in school and they don't want that in school. Well, I think these so-called banned books, they should be available for people who want to read them. If you prefer for your child or children not to be exposed to it, then that's you. That's a personal thing for you. But why should you ban it from all the kids? Why should
Yeah.
it be banned from the school library so nobody can read them?
Yeah, because
No,
that's what we're getting a lot. Yeah. And you know, when you're struggling with, your goal is to get children to read and to learn more, right? Just like the CTA says. But then, you know, the goal also is to make money. So it's a real interesting place we are, especially for children's books, right?
yes,
Because I
yes,
guess as an adult, you know, nobody can actually ban them. But it's interesting and trying to walk the fine line to want your people to read, but also having to observe the rights and the rules and the
exactly,
money. So, but it's
exactly.
sad because I like to read because like you should know more to be able to have an opinion on things. You have to know, in my opinion.
Yep,
Like, I don't know
yep,
what I don't know. So yeah, it's sad, but you also
it
see the
is.
effect it's having on people because you know ignorance can be bliss, and then it can also be so destructive that it's not always a good thing. But anyway, that's a whole different Monday moment. So, in all of the things that I've been asking you about teaching and your inspiration to teach, are there any rules, or not even rules, like any words of wisdom, or how you found your mojo in teaching? Because like I said, for me, from the door, you always were Miss Energy,
Well,
Miss,
thank
you
you.
know, learned all of the things. It was like entertainment teaching, but also I had to stay in my lane. So I don't know, like, how
Yes.
did you find that? Are there any tidbits, any tips you can give the people them about how you found your mojo in that?
You know what? I don't think I found it. I think it was always built in. It was in me. I
Right.
don't. Teaching is a profession that you have to love, and I made a very comfortable living from it. That's for sure. But I think that it has to be something. It's not a high paying job. It will make you lead a comfortable life, and I think that it has to be something that you really have to love. I don't think that just all of a sudden you're going to wake up one day and you're 45 years old and you decide, darn it, I want to be a teacher. It's something that's ingrained. It just is built into you. It's something that you really have to love. It's not something that you learn how to be a teacher. You have to want to have a desire to work with children, and that can be very challenging because these
Hmm.
little people have their own minds and they come from different backgrounds and stuff. And you have to be able to accept that and to encourage children and love each one for whatever he or she brings into a classroom. It's just something that you either are or you aren't. Some people are not made to be a teachers. They don't have the temperament or the
Right.
compassion or the
Because
love.
there is a temperament, I want to say. Yeah.
So there's a different thing. I may have a fuss with a child and say, I'm not happy with you. I'm not saying I don't like you. I'm saying I don't like your behavior. And I always made it distinct with the children to let them know I'm sad not about you. I'm sad about what you did or what you said to Dawn or what you did to whomever. So you really have to have a love for teaching and really love kids and be willing to understand them and accept them for where they are. That's, To me,
Yeah.
you can't learn to be a teacher. You either are made to be one or you aren't. That's my feelings. And I know there are people who've had careers in nursing or corporate world or whatever, and they decide they want to teach. Okay, and they've been successful with that some. But to me, it's something that you really have to want to do and love to do.
Because I hear so much now about people just doing the teaching profession because, just because they fell into it. So, and for me, like
Exactly.
I have several friends that are teachers, and I'm like, that is no fall into thing like that. Like sometimes in corporate America, you have to present, and you have to do the things, and for me, I have to the day I'm gonna present, I'm like, okay, I got to study my thing, and I got to do the thing. But for y'all, like when you show up, it is a presentation. So, and however you show up, you're like, kids are very responsive to your energy and to your
They
feeling,
are.
your
They
command of
are.
the room.
They
So if you
are.
don't have that, like you said, as you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, that's not something you could fall into. You have to own that, or because kids could smile. They could feel your inconsistency or your lack or
They
your from
do.
a mile
They
away.
do.
Like she don't
They
even want
do.
to be here. She don't want to do this. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they know, and even if I would have a fuss with somebody, and I would say, I'm very disturbed about your behavior. I don't like the way you did so and so, or you hit Bobby for what? For what reason? We're not hitting. Keep your hands to yourself. But by the time it's time for them to leave, at the end of the day, they know that I care about them because I'm going to give them that hug and let them know, do your homework, and I'll see you tomorrow. So they don't leave my classroom thinking, Miss Green's mad at me. She doesn't like me because and even I've had to sit them in timeout. I said, you know what? You were fighting on the playground. I saw you. I saw you. I was out there. I was doing lunch duty, so I saw you. I know what happened. You need a timeout, so you go sit in timeout and you think about what you did and think about how you're going to fix it. So he's going to out and look at me. Do I have to? Yeah, you have to go. So he's going to sit in timeout, but when it's time for him to go home, I'll let him know it's okay. You made a mistake. You apologize to whomever you wronged, and don't let that happen again. And he's good because I don't want him to go home thinking, well, she put me in timeout. She doesn't like me. She's mad.
yes.
Come
Because
in the
that whole
morning.
like thing, that like piece can be big. Like it
Then
can
he's
make.
going to come in the morning feeling upset about me putting him in timeout. Well, tomorrow morning is another day. You got a fresh start. Let's try this all over again. Let's roll
Yeah.
this back. So that's what I tried to send them home feeling okay and that they did okay or they need to improve, but I still care about them.
Now, is that something they taught you in school, or is that something you picked up on, or that's just
No,
something that?
that's my personality because there's some teachers who send you home and you did something naughty and you're in trouble and
Mm-hmm.
goodbye. See you tomorrow. No, that's
Mm-hmm.
just me. That's just the way I operate.
Now,
So
have you had any encounters with, I don't want to say bad teachers, but teachers that you recognized that you saw that were just doing all of the wrong things and said something to them? Or was it not the place? Like, have
um
you seen
on
it go
on
down and you're like,
occasion
oh,
on occasion I've had to say a little something something, and I
mm,
did that at the cost of maybe that person not appreciating me saying that, but I
mhm.
tried to say it in a professional kind of way, like that was wrong or whatever, whatever, whatever. But I've had to, and some I've seen some stuff that shouldn't have been happening, and I've seen some people who actually told me that they wanted to teach because they can have the summers off and
You see
because the
what I'm
hours
saying?
are good for them. And I said, "Oh, that's why you wanted to teach." Well, so and so and so and so and so. So I had to say whatever. But there's some people who
Mhm.
don't belong in the classroom. Just like some doctors who don't belong in the hospital, or some nurses who shouldn't be nursing. The same with teaching. There's some,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
but luckily I've been surrounded by some great
Yeah.
teachers who taught me um, a lot of stuff. And talking about teaching, let me tell you something about your mother. Your mother came to the when we had the open house, when you come in and you see the books that your child's going to be reading and the math book, social studies, science, and blah, blah, blah. And I saw your mom, she's taking these notes. She made me very nervous. And I'm walking around the classroom and explaining things to people and showing them books and workbooks and what I expect. And she's writing. And I said to myself, what is this lady writing? She made me very nervous. But as some time went on and we became friends, She made me feel so good. She said to me, she was not writing really about me. She was taking notes because I was telling her things that she could use where she taught.
See,
So I
you
said,
see,
"Wow, she's on the ball, on the ball."
you
But
see it, right? That's your phrase. I'm
I
gonna start
really
using that again. She's on the ball.
I felt so good when she explained to me that she wasn't particularly writing about me. She was writing down some things and getting some ideas from the things that I was sharing with the parents. And I thought that was great. I really thought that was
Yeah, I
nice.
think so too. That sounds like mommy. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
She's a good
she
one.
done
She's a
rubbed
good
off on me because I stay taking those even on this conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
your mom, I mean, anything I asked your mother to do, anything I told her about what's going on in the classroom or something, she was dead on it. I appreciate it so much. Your mom and dad were two good parents, I'm telling you.
I
If
couldn't
I had
agree
a
with you more.
classroom full of parents like that, I would have been on easy street, believe
I
me.
couldn't agree with you more. So,
Yeah.
oh, I have some comments I'm going to read. She says, I have no, Vicky says, I have no patience with vacation teachers. Your interaction with a child imprints a memory that stays with them forever, the good and the bad. So true.
Yep.
So true. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of now, we were talking about the students, but do you have, and it's 7:50, so I'm not going to talk you deaf because I can do this for a whole nother hour. But do you have any favorite teachers? Are there teachers still from Colombian that you speak to?
Oh yeah, because and a whole slew of us retired. I came out in 2015, so some came
Mhm.
out 2013, 14. And we still stay in touch with each other. We go to each other's cookouts and stuff like
So
that.
tell me some. I might know.
Well,
Miss
you know Miss
Evans, maybe is Miss Evans.
Oh, Miss Evans. I think she moved south some years ago.
Oh,
You
okay.
remember
I
Mr.
just saw
Harris
her
though,
post.
the
I
phys ed
remember.
teacher,
Who? Oh yes,
Mr.
yes. Of
Harris.
course. He was cool.
Yeah.
And Miss Jones,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They
They're
went
doing
to the.
fine.
We went to the same church for 0.5 seconds, but no longer.
Oh, okay,
Are
okay.
they still up here?
As far as I know, in West Orange, as far as I know,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. That Mr. Harris is my buddy
And
because
what
I
about
remember
Miss
when he
Johnson Moore?
Johnson Moore
No, I think that was my
Johnson.
first because there was two Johnsons. Remember, of course there were. There's so many Johnsons.
Yeah, because one Johnson passed away.
Oh, which one was it? The short one or the taller one?
Tall one, the tall
Oh,
one.
okay. I think
Yeah,
that
she
was
passed
Moore.
away years ago. No,
And what
Johnson
about
Moore.
and what Johnson? Yeah, I think that was Johnson Moore. I don't know. I was just in fourth grade. Who remembers?
Mhm.
And what about Miss Wise, the music teacher?
Oh, Miss Wise is doing fine. Miss Wise, she was at my second retirement party, the one that I
Okay.
gave for myself, not the one that the school gave, not that
Okay.
one. She's fine. She's Miss Wise is fine. She retired 2013.
And she up
And
here or down there or
she's
south?
in Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, Broadway. And she
Well,
had the nerve to
okay, so
be
she's up here.
she was a cheerleader for the Nets when they were in
No
New
way.
Jersey. Yeah, and she was on TV. Miss Tannis told me, but I missed it though. Yeah,
Okay.
but I saw I think a video. Yeah, they had the
Aw,
senior called the silver something, and all these retired
well,
ladies.
I
Yeah,
would love to
cheering.
say hey to her. If you talk to her again, tell her I ask about her often.
I will.
So, are there
Yeah,
any other teachers you still keep in contact? And why was it called Colombian?
Colombian. Oh, I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know
just checking.
why it
Just
was called
checking. I'll
Colombian.
ask Google. Google knows everything, or AI, one of them.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
So
and was Miss Murray there when you were there?
I think so. Yeah, Miss Murray, but I didn't have her. But yep.
Yeah,
And who were the principals? It was I remember
Miss Fairbanks.
Fairbanks, but then we have Mr. Daniels too.
Oh, Mr. Daniels was there when I first came there in 1975, but he passed away a long time ago.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
remember
was
him.
Mr.
I don't know why,
Daniels.
but I can see him.
Yeah, and
Maybe
then Miss Fairbanks took over after Daniels. She took
do
it.
you think they still have patrol officers on the door with the orange?
I'm sorry.
You think they still have patrol officers on the doors like the kids? Remember, you could.
No, they don't have the patrols anymore. Not that I know of, anyway. I don't think they do because I think there's such a dangerous thing going on
Yeah,
now.
and they just
When
have
you were
security guards now. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were in school, there was no security guard. You just came to
Yeah.
the door and you opened the school and you just
Patrol
came and
officers.
went to the office. Now the
Yeah.
security will stop you before you can do that because too much
Yeah.
stuff goes on. So you can't just
Yeah.
be open like that. Yeah,
All
school
right.
never had security guards.
Well, it is 7:54, but y'all can watch this video if y'all missed it live. It'll be on YouTube at FYM with Maisha. follow, like, share. But is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to tell the people? A story, a moment?
No, I just enjoyed my years of teaching, and probably if I had to do it again, I would do it again. But
Yeah.
you just have to have a love for that. That's all. It's just and and I'm just so proud of you and your sister. And I think about your growing up time and whatnot, and you don't know it, but I was peeking and seeing what you're doing and stuff.
Oh
And
no.
yes,
I'm so
yes,
happy that we're still here and communicating. It makes me happy.
yes,
I'm not gonna lie. Like my first
yes.
grade teacher is gonna be on tomorrow. Y'all better watch.
It was
So
a pleasure.
now, do you have any advice, any parting advice for people who are aspiring teachers or who are teachers now and just need in this crazy, challenging, mixed up time? The advice you could give them to how to keep on keeping on.
Just remember that each child is different. Don't try to lump them up into any category, because children are going to be children. And remember that they come from different households. They come with different rules. They come with different ideas. They are taught different things at home, and some things they're not taught at all. So we're going to have to be a teacher and a preacher and a doctor and a nurse and everything
Mm-hmm.
else, and psychiatrist, psychologist, and everything. We're all boiled into one. And just do the best you can, and just love the kids, and just remember why you're there. Remember what you're there for. And it's not an easy job, but it's a very rewarding job. It's been very
Right?
rewarding
Yeah.
to me. Very, very. So that's all. Just to treat each child the way you would want somebody to treat your own child. Because I didn't have a child at all when I first started teaching, and I just treated the children like they belonged to me. And parents couldn't believe that I didn't have the experience of raising children. I didn't. I just treated the kids like they were mine. That's all. And some
And we
kids would say,
felt it.
"Mommy, mom," and then it's, "Oh, Miss Green." They would call me mommy by mistake sometimes. So just do the best you can, and just love what you do. And if you don't love it, you should not be a teacher.
And I keep hearing the things that people just like fall into teaching. And I was like, no, not my teachers. They weren't falling into it.
Not at all. I was born into it.
How about that?
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
thank you so much for joining me and answering the call literally,
My
physically, and
pleasure.
teacherly.
My pleasure.
I've been here for it. So, 50th birthday. You
Happy
showed up
birthday.
again. Look at that. Look at that.
I can't
Me and
believe
Camille's weddings, her graduations, now my 50th. Watch out. More
I
to
can't
come.
believe it. Can't believe it. Well, it was fun. Thank you for
Thank you
having me.
so much. Yes, yes. I feel like I need to have your daughter on too because she's doing some interesting things. You
She
think?
might do that. She
Well,
might do
now
that.
I have her number, so
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I might go ahead and reach out. But anyway, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Thank
My
you
pleasure.
for sharing the love. Thank you for being my teacher, the very first one.
Thank you for being one of my sweeties. I'm telling you, you're one of my sweeties. There's no doubt about that.
That
No
makes me
doubt.
smile. So don't disappear. We'll be around.
Okay.
All right. Well, have a good night. I'll see
Thank
you,
you.
or hopefully I'll see you, or at least talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Take
All right.
care.
Take care.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.